Good morning and welcome to another update on the Altcoin Playbook. Before we start, I just want to say that if you are a founding subscriber or an elite member, as described as a founding subscriber, you are able to get a paid subscription for free on the Altcoin Playbook app. There is a link in the blog, and you are also allowed to the Altcoin Profit Toolkit. So if you are a founding member, then make sure to send me a message so I can make sure you're in the uh, community. All right. So let's start with talking about Bitcoin because Bitcoin has been pretty choppy, and we've seen Bitcoin dominance rise while actually Bitcoin has been going flat and altcoins have been slowly bleeding some more. So that's why it's so important to check the markets every week and see if there's some weakness in some altcoins so we can remove them from the list. But yeah, let's start with Bitcoin, looking at the market compass indicator. So it's currently orange, and that means you have to be very cautious and take also more profits within your trades. So when the background is green, you can just put a trading stop loss, and then whenever the altcoin keeps rising, you can move up the stop loss. But in the orange background, it's more choppy, as you can see, and then you really need to take profits more quickly, because you have to think about just taking profits more quickly, because those gains can also disappear more quickly. And we've seen that in the last week. So Bitcoin moved up to 114K, and then one day later it's trading again around 107.5K. So that's why you need to be quick in taking profits more fast. Then let's look at the cycle view, and right now Bitcoin is near the end of the 4-year cycle. So I've been saying this for a quite while. So there could be, one last push higher, and that was the assumption 2 weeks ago. Then Bitcoin had this massive liquidation event, especially in altcoins, and it broke a lot of structure. So that made me a bit more cautious, and I still want to have a lot of exposure into crypto. So I decided to rely my portfolio more into Bitcoin than altcoins. And I think it's the right move, because if Bitcoin drops, you're gonna see altcoins drop 30 to 40%. While if Bitcoin is going to move higher, it's also going to be Bitcoin that has the one of the most gains, because not all altcoins are rising at the same pace. So I think in terms of risk management, Bitcoin is probably the best pick at this stage. If we're gonna see Bitcoin, break out again into new highs, then we can, or I will be looking into more speculative stuff. But until there is a lot of uncertainty, I'm gonna be a bit more risk off. All right. There was also me thinking about the bear case and the bull case for this cycle. So, like I said, we're near the end of the cycle, which obviously could either be one big leg higher, or it could be Bitcoin has stopped here for the month as well, or for the cycle as well, and is going to head lower. But I also had a few other points where you're seeing a lot of debts. Those are stocks that are buying Bitcoin and other coins like Ethereum, Solana. I don't think that's bullish necessarily. So whenever, yeah. Uh, No, the question you have to ask, who is buying those companies, and that's mostly retail. So we have to assume that when there's panic, those retail investors are also gonna dump their stocks, those stocks that are buying more altcoins, which means those companies might need to sell their treasuries to stay solvent, etc. So that's why I think that's not so bullish to see at this last phase of the cycle. For now, I still think the cycle is still in play until one, on the monthly chart, we're gonna see Bitcoin drop below the 10-week moving average. And on the weekly chart, if Bitcoin is going to drop below the 50 moving average. It's now around 103 K, and it's slowly grinding higher. So basically those levels around 100K are very important. So I'm not giving up. I'm just allocating a bit more into Bitcoin to avoid a big loss if it were to drop. That just means altcoins are gonna be wrecked even harder. I could still trade altcoins based on the support levels we're gonna see, but as cycle trades for my altcoins, the only one I hold is Ethereum right now. So if you look at my portfolio, you can see Bitcoin is now the biggest position in my portfolio, and then we have Ethereum, with a smaller allocation. I do think if there is gonna be one last leg higher, that's when Ethereum is gonna outperform again and could make new highs. So I will probably sell a bit more Bitcoin to buy Ethereum if that happens. All right, so now let's look at the technical analysis for Bitcoin. And yeah, you can see that it had a few moves to the upside. So it went all the way up to around 114K, but then gave it all back in the same day. Tested that 107.5K level. So when Bitcoin was trading here last week, I was waiting for a reclaim of that 107.5K level. We took a trade, and yeah, so basically it came for a retest, and now it's around 110 again. Also, what I didn't like about this price action, it went this high and then broke again that 110K level. So not sure if that 100K level is that important. So I moved up the resistance level at around 111 and 11. So I think if Bitcoin is going to break that level again, it might have a new higher high in the coming days. All right, let's look at Bitcoin dominance. So you can see that Bitcoin dominance has been slowly grinding higher. I think my base case is that Bitcoin dominance is gonna hit that 61.5 level, maybe even overshoot that, fill up this gap here until 63.5. That's why I remain Bitcoin heavy. So this is definitely something that can trend higher for the next couple of days. Looking at Ethereum, so Ethereum did hold around 3,800, and it's at the lower end of the support. So a trade would be here along until that 4,250 level. Take some profits around 25% of that trade, and hopefully it can trend higher. If not, just move up your stop loss to break even so you won't lose much. So that's how I would trade Ethereum. You can see Ethereum versus Bitcoin struggling to make new highs. So I do think this is a higher low, but maybe it's gonna retest that level again before trending higher. Altcoins versus Ethereum. So they had a nice bounce, but Ethereum took a lot of those gains back. And now possibly making a low here, but I think with this wick it's gonna just trend lower until it hits this support level again. So that means Ethereum is more likely to outperform most altcoins. Looking at Solana, so Solana still holding that 185 level. I think that's a reasonable level to remain bullish. I would also look at the weekly time frame, and yeah, so this is definitely the level you want it to hold on the weekly time frame. You could say even around 156 could be a level to buy on the weekly time frame. But if you are in Solana, I would become very cautious is if it's gonna drop below this 156 level. So honestly, I would prefer this 185 level to hold. If I would be holding Solana, I would definitely cut half of my position if it breaks here, and maybe add again at the lower level. So that's how I would be playing Solana, and then also take some profits if you can when it hits around 210. Let's continue. This is Solana versus Ethereum. Had a nice move, but this looks to be a lower high, so I think Ethereum still outperforms Solana. Looking at Tron, so Tron still holding around the level we were watching. So this could be a nice trade where you entered here at 31 cents and then take some profits if it hits 33 cents. Binance coins still looking okay, but we did mention there is a topping pattern here, so you could say Binance is gonna make a lower high here. Let's say you take some profits at 1,200, so that would be a reasonable level to take some profits after taking a long here at around 100 at 1,100. Zcash also showing similar type of topping pattern where it's taking out the high here and then closing with a bearish candle. So maybe in the long term it stopped, but it could make like another lower high here and then continue lower. But Zcash actually one of the stronger coins. I don't have it on eToro because I'm not able to trade it, so the way to trade it is probably buying it on another exchange like Coinbase or Bybit. Bitcoin Cash is breaking a bit down, so I moved down the stop loss. I moved down the support level at 420 because this is clearly just becoming a daily downtrend, and the next level to watch is here. So I would close positions and then enter again at this level. Chainlink still holding support, but it made a lower high, so that confirms the daily downtrend. Not as bullish as the coins we saw previously, but we're gonna see a lot of coins that made lower highs and are either right above the support level or trading right below the support level. This is Aave, and Aave is trading, right at that support level. Also made a lower high. So I think I even said You could short this last week. So a bit of weakness in Aave. Hyper liquid holding that 37 level. The reason why I'm not holding it on my Toro portfolio is just because hype was the reason we had such a liquidation event, meaning it's focused on trading, on leverage trading, and with all the liquidations we had, I think not a lot of people are going to start leverage trading again, only the professionals, which means much less attention to hype as it had before. AVEX breaking down here, so you could say this is an important level to reclaim, otherwise it's gonna drop to 16.5. So I was kind of bullish here when it broke out, but then yeah, it gave it all back and we haven't seen a decent recovery, so not liking the price action. XRP still holding that 2.225 level. Also made a lower high, but trading well above the support level, so a bit stronger than the other ones. XLM right at the support level. This is definitely the level you wanted to see hold. Otherwise, I'm gonna remove it from the playbook list. INA is well above support, but I moved down the support. So yeah, I would have loved it to hold here right before the liquidation event, but yeah, hasn't had the recovery. But you can see it made a higher high here and now making a higher low. So you could say INA is one of the stronger charts. So potentially a good trade here on INA. Aerodrome right at the support level here at 75 cents. Yeah, I do think this is like the last level to hold because otherwise it's gonna drop all the way down to 50 cents again. We were watching Pepe right here, but then yeah, the liquidation event happened. We haven't seen the recovery, so I moved down the support level. I'm not personally trading or holding this, but just keeping it on my watch list in case Ethereum starts to outperform again. Pengu, yeah, failed to hold this level, and we said there's not a lot of support here, so it's probably going to bleed lower, and so far it's making no lower lows, so not that good price action. If you want to trade it, I would probably wait until it hits around 0.017. Bird is a meme coin that we were watching. Did had a big pullback, but it's right around support level here. So this could be a small trade. Again, not a long-term hold. Just trade it until it hits this resistance around 5 cents. Useless coin is one of the most hyped meme coins right now. I think on the chart you can see it's still forming a base here and possibly gonna continue higher. So if there's one meme coin you wanna trade, it's probably this useless coin. But again, you can see there's a lot of resistance here. So let's say you take a trade here, then you need to take resistance at yeah, around 40 cents. Toshi still looking good on the long-term picture, making higher lows each times. So yeah, maybe this is like another higher low here and we're gonna see a move higher. I would definitely take some profits here at the 0.009 level. So yeah, that's the update for today. Again, I got a bit mixed feelings about Bitcoin right now. We are late in the cycle, and I really wanted to see Bitcoin, move higher more quickly. It made no highs and then gave it all back. So that's kind of a topping sign. I'm also watching on the monthly time frame how the month is gonna close, because if this month is gonna close below this swing high here around 109.3k, then we definitely have a bearish sign for the macro cycle. So I'm waiting for the month to close. If it's just gonna close higher, then we can assume that there is an option Bitcoin is going to trend higher. But yeah, patience, and in the meantime, staying Bitcoin for my crypto allocation, crypto exposure, and not taking too much risk. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions or requests, do reach out, and I'll see you next week. Bye.